All of that stuff, the gangs, the fraternities, the sororities, is all the same thing. It all goes to nothing but Freemasonry. So you see, they love doing the hand signs because the hand signs just blaspheme Kara, because Christ is the hand. He's the hand of God. Because Kara also means the hand, the arm as well. You know, it all deals with that. That's why Hennessy logo, you know, they got that arm. You know, the top of the altar is measured at 76 degrees. Remember I was showing the altar earlier? The altar, that's why they be like, you know, on our block, you know, I can go back to it right quick so y'all can hear it again. Hold on. Because they saying they come from a block. That block they talking about is just the Freemasonry, though, the Masonic pyramid in Psalms 118:22, when the Masons removed the headstone because they don't want Christ to be the head of the body. They don't want people knowing who he is. You know, they don't want the word of God revealed, you know.
Why you running, got your gun, so you gonna let him die? I come from a block, you catch a op, you hit him 20 times.
You see that? I come from a block, you catch an op, you hit him 20 times. And they like doing that op talk because that op goes into opportunity, which just goes into God anyway, because he's the Lord of time. So they just saying basically battle against the Louis Eternal, war against that altar, you know, help them keep the hand gestures going, war against the Kara. Let's delve into this. You see that nothing but they chains right there on the car. You know, bodies just collected, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's how wicked that Freemasonry gang life is, you know. Here it is.
For grant, who will come blame some? Hop up out the steamer, squeeze this to my hands, never chop the handgun. Up and then it's beating down this block like the bass on the band drum.
Beating down his block, you know. Keep warring against the block all day, keep warring against the altars, make sure that it ain't restored. You know, Judah don't fulfill, you know. And you know, he died by Cicero Avenue area. You know, Cicero, you know, that whole thing goes nothing but into, you know, like one of the main orators, one of the main speakers of Rome. You remember Mark Antony put the hit out on him, you remember? And had him taken out because he was opposing him. So, you know, all of that stuff is everything they doing, man. Not just how the demons stage all of this. You know, all of that stuff is all symbolic. You know what I mean? You know how Mark Antony had that done, and then, you know, that whole area, it was all set up. You know, demons can stage stuff that day. That's all those demons do, you know? Make sure certain things play out the way that's supposed to happen. But anyway, going back into, like I was saying earlier about Kara meaning the hand and the arm. So as you see, you got the 76, and you see how they blaspheme with Hennessy, and it's called the Mason. You see Mason Hennessy, you know? Because that Hennessy, you know, all it is nothing but Hennessy just goes into Akhenaten, which goes straight into the Akhenaten, which is nothing but the ancient Pharaoh, which was Lucifer of that time, a vessel for Lucifer during that time. And in this life now is nothing but a Barack Obama, the Antichrist. So all of this stuff is right there in Chicago. You know what I mean? His house is what, 8 minutes away from that old block area? That's not by coincidence. You know, Judah Heights just dying daily, you know what I'm saying? All day, every day, just dying daily, you know, dying in ignorance, just being caught up in hellfire. You know, it's sad.